Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us again today. Today is another episode, a very humbling episode for me. One episode that means a lot to me. I know that you will be wondering what you're on about, but you're going to see why, and I'm going to tell you why. But before I say a lot of things, thank you so much for the traffic that I see there. The traffic that I see on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Thank you guys for your support. Thank you for your love. Thank you for joining this family. We are a family here. We are just a family that loves people. And we are just that family that wants to see men doing well, and women learning from men. And I know when I say that, you guys are like, ha, but Dr. Salayo, it's time for us to really change how we think and how we do things. So without wasting any time, please guys, don't forget to subscribe, to like, to share, and to do all those wonderful things. Tell people that there is this beautiful platform that is out there, and just for us to learn, because as I'm sitting here, I am also learning, you won't believe, and just becoming a better woman every day. So today we have an amazing man from where I come from, someone that I learn from, somebody that every time when you see him, you just see somebody who is just doing these wonderful things. Someone who's just pushing boundaries, somebody who's just entering spaces that we thought, it's actually something that maybe one day I can. But when you see him go there, when you see him entering and bulldozing those doors, entering those doors, then you know that it is possible. So it's someone that said to me one day, Chabu, there's a place called Empt in Newtown. Please go there and start that podcast that you want to do. So if you want to know how I got here, this is the man. Today in our studios, we have Bongani Miya, Ubaba Wabafana, and a beautiful wife. Unjani Baba?
Oh man, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I've been dying to come here.
It's me who's been dying.
I know we've been trying to set up an appointment for me to come. And every time we try, I'm not there, I'm there. So
doing amazing things.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Bulldozing.
Wow. What a feedback. What a feedback. Yeah, I'm humbled. But thank you. Thank you for having me.
No, Mr. Miya, I'm glad to have you. I'm glad that you came, and it actually today turned out very nice, ne?
Yeah. We can say that again.
It was like a hiccup, but I'm glad it turned out the way it did. And, immediately Tessa said to me, hey, you don't know God, you. Now I see.
He's a big orchestrator of it all.
I'm telling you. But I have you here because you are my brother. You are someone that I look up to. And I know I speak for a whole lot of people. People from the Val, you are just that voice of reason for us.
Wow.
You are just that man that we look up to, and you're not disappointing us. You are doing very extremely well. Apparently this part of mine is detrimental, Nyana, because men be like, hey, Jab, you must not go for, but I have to tell you guys, I have to tell you that in Nenzagahle, and we are proud. This platform is about boosting that ego.
Thank you.
It's about saying that you are doing well, and we are so happy about what you are doing. And I know somebody always say, Jabu, please, when I just get into the topic, we want to know the background. We want to know who do you have there. So maybe you can just take us a little bit.
Sure. Bongani Miya, and I am the author I think I'm starting to enjoy the
Saying
sound
that.
of that.
I'm coming.
I have my one book, The Man I Wanna Be, doing wonderful rounds so far. And I'm working on my second one. I wanted to publish it before the end of this year, but something in me said, shh, wait.
I know that voice.
Yeah.
I know that voice. I wanted to write a book a long time ago, and something in me said, you are not ready. You're going to write the most bitter book ever in your life. Just chill, girl.
I think with me, I'm excited with this one. You know, when I write this one, I write with excitement. And so it's almost done. So it's actually different from this one. This one was a memo. The second one is on business and career, how to master the art of networking. Yeah, that's what we'll be talking about at some point once it's actually published. So over and above that, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a kingdom ambassador.
Right.
I'm a philanthropist because I think as a foundation, I love serving.
I can attest.
I love
I'm
serving.
a witness.
Everywhere I find myself, I just want to serve. Yeah. Everywhere I go, any space I find myself in, I just want to serve. That's who I am. I was born in Soweto, Fuller North, and we moved to Eval, I think when I was 7 years. And look, Val made me. I grew up Eval. So people always say, your parents, really? They decided to move from Soweto to Val.
Wow. Look at us, we're from Val.
Yeah, so those streets, they really made us. And so I've been Val, went to school, primary school, high school. Primary, I started Tensele, went to Makasela, primary school, then went to Ketilizwe secondary school. Later in the years, I went to a varsity. There's only one varsity that I did. I went to Northwest University. It was still called Poch University at some point. Did my bachelor's there, did my honors there, went for my MBA there. So I in terms of varsity, and others were saying, but no, you just need to do a bachelor's here and just go do something else somewhere. And so, but over and above, by God's grace, and so one went into a corporate for about 16 years in a corporate space, few companies, 2, 3. But then I think after 16 years, I really got tired of corporate. I remember, and I say this, I was not actually fired. There was no retrenchment. I just got tired. I think.
So you get me. Okay, that must not be on the video.
So a lot of people always say, but come on, did you really just decide? I'm like, my calling. Business is just me. It's in me, and I think I was somehow meant for this to go this direction. So I just decided, you know what? I think it's too much. Went to HR at some point. We were seated there, and I'm like, no, you know what? I think I've reached my expiry date, because it was actually so difficult to wake up in the morning. So I would travel from Val to Sentin almost every day, and I would get to work late. It's not a nice thing. Yeah, no, it's not a nice thing. You get to work early. You keep time. So I would actually get to work very late because, you know what? I think Miles Munro says, if you're doing something that you are not meant for, it will feel like a job, because he says there's a difference between a job and a work. He says a job is something that you do for money, but work talks to purpose. So it really felt like a job, because I thought about money. I'm like, yes, the money is good, but I don't want to do it, but then I decided, went into business. It was not easy. I crashed for a year to 2 years, getting stuff repossessed. And so it was not easy. But by God's grace, then we are here today.
Hey, we are here today.
We are here today.
And we are doing well. I just hear, when you speak, I just hear perseverance, and never giving up.
Sure.
Never giving up.
Sure.
Just keep on pushing. One years, I always say, I live on DMs, because that's the only way, or let me say one of the ways rather of getting guests, So I'm always on the DMs and men look at it and like, ufunan lo. Pella, it's so difficult for them to answer, for you guys to just answer because you don't know my intentions.
Sure.
It takes that bold man to actually respond and say, ufunan, and then they read and then they hear totally different thing,
Sure.
And I must say, I'm really grateful for the support that you guys give me and that you are here. So I know that you are raising fine boys.
Yeah.
I know that you are raising fine boys, and when we have events and I see them there, I see how hands-on your boys are. I see how they really helping ubaba ngenkluzo. Whether you drag them, it's none of my business there. But what I see those children who are just working, who are just learning from their father. Sometimes we think they don't, but they do. But how is it to really train them? And we don't know whether they're going to follow that route exactly, but how is it to just train them and show them how you do things, how hard you work?
Yeah. Look, I think for me it started at home with me just having a sit down with them, taking them through how I grew up, show them that side and say, boys, this is how I grew up.
And they don't believe.
I never had it easy. And we used to do this, do that. I used to do that. And I would actually tell them, hey, I was the eldest. I'm the eldest. And so I was expected to wake up at 5 o'clock back then. You needed to actually at least take a broom and sweep the ground at 5 and the istupu. That was me.
Make fire.
That was me because it was just to go, And so that was me, and I had to stand in. I'm a child, but I had to be a father. I had to be a mother at the same time because umama was not always there. Begate semakishin most of the time. And so that's how I grew up, and I tell them these stories, and what I've actually seen. Sometimes when we're just talking, they would go and say, Baba, you said when you grew up, you used to do what? Sure, that was not nice, eh? So and then you realize that they are getting it. And I must be actually honest with you. I think it's by God's grace. I don't have to drag them. I think of what I've done very well is to actually sell this vision to them, to say, boys, whatever that I do now, I'm building a legacy. And it's not for me.
It's for you.
It's for you. And what I would want you to do is for this not to die in your hands, but you need to also pay it forward to the next generation, And I think slowly they're getting that we need to build together. As much as they know where I come from nothing, trying to build something. And I think they are so jealous that, you know what, let's just help Baba to build. Yeah.
No, it's so beautiful. And maybe it's because I've seen them.
Yeah.
So I know what you are really talking about because, Amen. They become so hands-on. Like it's like they understand what they're doing.
Sure.
Even the way they will sell the book, and I'm like, this is beautiful to see.
Yeah.
And how would you say your presence in their lives impacted them as a father?
Yeah. Look.
Knowing maybe where you come from.
Yeah. Sometimes we go through tough experiences for us to learn so that we do not repeat the same mistakes. And I think at this stage, one thing that I've actually told myself is how I grew up, it's not the same way that I want my children to grow up. And I always tell them, I'm not going to spoil them, but I'm just going to make sure that I'm very intentional in how I actually lead them. And I think the most important thing, as much as sometimes we get too busy with business, you're always not around, but I try and actually find that mix. I would take them with me. If I know I'm going to whether KZN or Eastern Cape sometime, then it's holidays. They are there, and I've been traveling. I've not been home. I would be like, guys, I'm going to be busy, but let's go, and we would go together.
That's beautiful.
Because I'm intentional in terms of the impact that I want to have in their lives, and I don't want to even miss a moment, because of my busy schedule.
Sure. I think that is a beautiful thing to hear. And alongside, there's this beautiful woman. Ozan is such she's just an incredible woman. So having her and them, so your supporting structure, like your A team is intact. I've also seen how hands-on she is. And what would you say the role and the importance, and that when you get to a point when you're like, I've got someone who's got my back.
Yeah.
Because there are men out there. Can you just encourage them? There are men out there who are doing very well, but their wives are not supportive.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've heard a lot of stories of that. Sure. That is like seeing her, the way she does things, and knowing that umshado is not an easy thing, and knowing that you guys most probably went through things as a family, building a family, because building is not easy,
Sure.
So, but her being there,
Yeah. If you're
I don't
aware,
even know how to phrase but I just want you. You get me.
I get you.
Because I get so much DMs about this.
I get you. If you are aware, on the book, under dedications, I do dedicate the book to her.
Yes.
Because I know in our marriage, especially most part of it, it has not been easy.
Yeah.
There's been just ups and downs. But through grace, God's grace, we soldier on, we survive all that. But I think one thing that I've wanted to do and still continue doing is to show her, because I think that's where maybe Lasimi Sakona as men, is to show her that I'm intentional in terms of leading her, I think but that's one thing that we lack as a daughter, and we do make mistakes, get distracted by things that don't matter. and they take up our time, and we forget the most important things in our lives. I think I've been there, caught up in those moments in my life also, where you end up neglecting the very person that you shouldn't, but one thing that I'm actually trying every day, that's why I say the man I want to be, it's not perfect. He's not a perfect man, but what I like about him is a man that's involved, is a man that's aware, is a man that's accountable. You're not just there, but you know that I'm not perfect. I'm not an angel. As much as I'm not actually an angel, I am here and I want to actually build. And in how I lead you, I want you to actually have confidence in my leadership style, because and understand my leadership style, to say this is how I'm leading you and this is where I want to take you in leading you. I think we are not so clear in most cases as men in terms of leading our partners, because more often than never you'd hear Abo Mama saying, I just need to be led correctly. And which I think women don't have a problem, but they just need to be led correctly. And it's our responsibility to do so.
Sure. I'm getting so emotional. Today, actually, I'm a bit emotional. I'm getting so emotional. So, I've seen her strength, and I've seen how involved she is. I've seen how she supports you. And I just want to say shout out to her. Big shout out to you, Zara.
Definitely.
You are doing well, women. You are just there by your men, and it's commendable. I think because you are my people, I can say it. But I really admire her strength. So the strength of a woman next to a man with a vision is everything.
Yeah.
Because she actually makes your life easier.
Yeah.
But it starts by, where are you taking me?
Yeah.
She gets the vision. She gets to see where we are going.
Yeah.
And then she starts to prepare for the route, for the road, to say, okay, this is what, if we are going there, then this means this is where we are going.
Yeah.
So there's another thing that women also cry about. You told her the vision. You said this is where you are going. And then next thing, you deviate.
That's why I say you need to be intentional.
Right.
Yeah. Intention is key. Intentional. It's not a by the way thing. You are very intentional. You are involved in it. You are engaged in it. I think that's key, because if it does, it's not the same if I say it and I live it. It hits differently.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can actually say it to you.
Sure.
And not live it. Those are two different things. But if I say it and live it, I think it boosts some confidence. Now go, okay, it means we are getting somewhere here. We are working on something. But sometimes it's easy for us to say, and that's why women would be very impatient with us. You always say that. You always say that. You must just show me. So that's why I say I do get it now.
Intentionality.
Yeah, the intentionality needs to be there. And I do get it when women say, no, I don't have a problem with him, but he must just lead me correctly. The intentionality, I think it's key.
Sure. So this book, I read it and I just heard God. There is absolutely no way of, okay, this is just me.
Yeah.
You will tell me.
Sure.
But according to me, this man that you want to be, that you're aspiring to be, that you're hoping that I'm sitting and I say you are doing well, you are actually
Sure.
this man.
Sure.
For you, it started with God. for you, it started with you saying, lead me.
Sure.
Lead me to this man. Because this is a beautiful reflection. Because this is a boy
Sure.
who has a dream. And all this actually lives in his head.
Sure.
To actually bring this to the physical, he went through a lot.
Sure.
All those dynamics that you spoke about. So take us through the book.
Yeah. You know, when you look at that boy looking at the mirror.
Yeah. And it's not a clean boy.
No.
There's a shag behind.
In natural fact, when because I was trying to find a picture, you know, and say, but I just want this boy, and I remembered where I come from, Everton. Same shack like that.
Right.
And even as I went back, I took some pictures with my boys.
Sure.
I showed them, boys, this is where I used to stay. We took pictures there. And obviously...
You see, they're your boys again.
Yeah. I went memory lane, you know, and I showed them, I asked, can we come in, Leandro? And they showed us, and you're looking at the Liam Coco, and you are thinking, goodness, wow, God is good. You know, and but when I was doing this cover, and then I wanted something close to how I grew up, you know, and I started going on, you know, AI
yes.
Yes. And then I gave it those prompts and said, I want this boy, because that was me. That's literally me. Never had shoes. So if you see that boy, no, definitely that's me. Like literally growing up. So ileza impahlo mama ebeka tebuya ngazo from emakishin la piana. We are born bebuya emakishin ngaleza impahla, and I would be so happy to see mama ebuya ngeimpahla emakishin. So I wanted this picture to have that, you know. But I then said, this boy is stuck here. He's got no choice. He's here. He didn't ask. That's what I say also, you know, at some point I would feel as if I'm born into a wrong family. But why God ungazalwanga lapha next door? Wangasumntana next door? Because I'm looking at my situation and I'm thinking, God, but do I really deserve this? So, and I'm like, this boy is trapped here, and he didn't choose to be here, but what is this boy looking at? So I've always wanted somebody that I can model after. I can mirror.
Now I hear you.
I can mirror. As a boy, I'm stuck in this situation, which I did not choose. But now I'm here. I need somebody.
Where is that man?
I need that paternal figure. That paternal figure is not there.
Sure.
Mama comes, we has a hambe, you know, and I'm young. And that's me, I think, growing up, 5 years, 6 years, 4 years, that's the life, I know. And you know, and now I'm preoccupied to say, but, you know, I think I am missing one thing. And I was asked when I was actually speaking in one of the events recently, they asked me, Uguti, take us through the book. Which moment in your life you would say, did you bad? And I had to reflect and say, missing that paternal figure, the man that would just stare at me and say, hey, Bongan, Vanam, without really looking at upeteni, ungenzelani, but just those words that affirms you, that gives you hope. That's all that I wanted, you know, at that time. But in the absence of that, obviously you look around, you try and actually find this thing emisayo or ifuna so much, you know. That's where the man I want to be comes from, because you are looking for this man, and I'm told
Sure.
Akekho la ekhaya uyabo umbheke
Nase
kubomakhelwane akekho umbheke estradini akekho. Hey, everywhere where you go you are just trying to find this man, but that man is not there. And I also say, not that I did not meet the most wonderful man at some point in my life, but they didn't really mirror this man that mina nginayo la angaze engqondweni yami enhliziyweni yami, but that man is there. And I'm like longing for this man. I've not met this man. That's the chapter. That's why I said the man I never met. I've not met this man, but I know that this man exists, is somewhere. But I've not met him, And that's why I would say, when as sister, we cannot actually expect our kids to have a reflection on the mirror of shapes. Those were not drawn for them. They can't be looking for something that's not there, And I'm saying, let's, as fathers, as brothers, let's ensure as men that when our boys look at the mirror, they are looking at somebody they want to aspire, they aspire to be. I've been to one of the events, and I was actually talking there to both abantu abadala and boys. One of the boys, I think he was 18, 19, he stood up. He said, I have a father, but my father is not everything I want to be. Yes, he's there. I appreciate, I thank God, but he does not reflect that man that I aspire to be. So that's why I'm saying, can we just put an effort as men, as fathers, that when our boys look at the mirror, they see that man they aspire to be.
That went way deep. That went way deep, because I speak to boys, and this is what I always hear. I heard a story today of someone who was telling me, Uguti, his father married someone else, not the mother, but he was not involved. And he says, the way I have anger, and I'm trying to come close to him, but he keeps on just pushing me, and actually standing with a woman whom, when I was young, I saw her sneaking men when he was at work. Now, men don't even know what happens when they're at work, when those little ones who are not, the things that they see. He says when he comes back, he just believes what he is so broken. He doesn't even know what to do. He found himself on drugs. He found himself, doing things that he says, I don't want to do. But I just have this void. But the father is there.
That's what I'm actually saying. And it's a lot of boys, a lot of young men that feels, Uche, I'm thankful to God that he is there, but he's just there. He says, I'm looking for somebody, a man, that I can just say, you know what, I think this is somebody I want to become when I'm old. This is one person that I'm aspiring to be. Because the issue with us as men, we forget that how we speak, how we walk, we are modeling someone. And we need to be intentional in how we walk, in how we speak. Because someone is watching.
Sure. Today is a bit emotional. Why? Today is just it's just something else. I think maybe it's because of that conversation that I had with him, and it really got me to that point to say, now it takes us back, because we cannot be oblivious to the fact that even the father, meaning elect, or the father wasn't there. Because that's another conversation that we do not want to have. That we are saying, be intentional, model, all of that. But who am I modeling to my son? Because it's that man, that boy. When maybe you were fortunate, you found someone that at some point you can model, church, your surrounding. But yena's told ukuthi maybe akazange be nalobo buhlakani, or that wisdom to say, man, I think funa makrot manangati, around, or no mama our taller, so people don't know that I listen to to rap sometimes. Yeah,
Okay.
rap. Yeah. So I like I like what there's something that Tupac says, he says
Mkwanazi. Hey, Mkwanazi no Tupac no Chabo. Hey.
Is that you, Mkwanazi?
Hey, is that you, Mkwanazi, speaking now?
No, but there's something that struck me. He says the very same people that were thugs, actually taught me how to be a man. And those are the people that I found myself. Those were people that were giving me love. So sometimes men do find themselves with people, though they may not be those ones that they want to be, but there are those men who are also broken around them. The very that will sell drugs and give him money to go and see the mother in jail. So at the end of the day, there are those men, but also now, but they did not have role models.
Sure. I'm sorry, because I'm going to have to refer you back to the book. The
as
chapter,
many as you can. It's okay.
The chapter called Beyond the Corner Office, which I pose a question and I say, who are you beyond that suit? I quote myself, you will never enjoy the man on the outside until you address the child in him.
By giant, you mean obstacles, or what do you mean?
The child in a man.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying in every man, there's a child in him. In every woman, there's a child in her.
I hear you.
Right? So we're talking men here. So if you want to enjoy that man on the outside, don't just look on the outside. What you first need to do, ukuthi uyibuze, but wait, where is this person coming from? Ukhule kanjani? Khuliswe ubani?
Uzikhulisile nje.
Do you understand? And then you'll start embracing, understanding. You might even be in a position as a woman empilweni yakhe to start mhlambe ijourney naye yokumsiza so that akwazi ukusizakala. If you understand all those things.
But women say, Bona, they are not charity case.
No. This is the thing. Because remember, if you are part of my life, we are together in this thing. There's no me. There's no longer you.
But they want you guys proper. They want you ready.
Which is why. When I talk namadota, especially I speak about purpose, the younger ones, I caution them around these things. And I say, Gulea chapter, let's go to God's blueprint for man. When God created man, what it was for which purpose? For what purpose did God create man? And I take people on a journey here that says, let's go to the Garden of Eden. So we are interrogating the creation now. What was said to who in the garden? So God placed the man at the center of the garden, which he introduced him to the land. And when he introduced him to the land, he did not just leave him there, but he gave him instructions. And I argue, I say, when all that was happening, Eve was not there. But others are saying, but he was trapped inside of Adam. It's a topic for another day.
A long one. Oh, God.
It's a discussion for another day. It's okay. We do understand. But I'm saying Eve was not there. This instruction was given to Adam. And the instruction was very simple. Over and above dominion now, we understand in terms of God saying, dominate. I give you dominion over this and that. Over and above that, he gave Adam specific instruction. And he said, you are going to have to work the ground. And remember earlier on when I spoke about work speaks to purpose.
Yeah.
So find your purpose. Find your purpose. That is work. So once you find your purpose, he then say you are going to have to guard the garden. You are going to have to cultivate it. And if you cultivate it, you make something fruitful. You make it better. Make this thing better. But he then gave him the last instruction. He said, you are going to have to teach. So men, as leaders, we are teachers. We are bestowed with this thing to say we need to teach. And like I said, you could be teaching by saying, by walking, how we walk, how we speak. That's teaching. So that actually draws us back to, but why did God create man? And I argue in the book, I say two wives of Adam. To say God had to introduce Adam to this wife first, which is the land, and he gave him instructions and said, you do this.
You must work this.
Yeah, to work, you guard, you cultivate, you teach. He gave him all those instructions. And the Bible says, no. He was so happy with his first wife. He was so happy.
He says, look now.
He was so happy with this. Look, he was so happy. Adam was happy alone. Adam was happy with his first wife before Eve was introduced.
They had set times that we meet. He had set appointments with God. No distraction.
It was so quiet. Yeah, right. So now, but then when God saw that, you know what? He's done a good job. He's fulfilled. Unayo yonke into. He's taking care. Buga ihlahla ziyakhula. Buga ama-benches. No. The grass is green. Then God said, I'm going to introduce him to the second wife, which is now Eve. But let me tell you, he had to pass the test before the second wife could be introduced to him. And if you look at it, it means God was actually preparing Adam for family. He was actually preparing him for family. That's what I argue in the book. Right? So only when God saw which he is fit for family, then he said, okay, wozake Eva. Lo muntu, he's got all the money. Naye, emotionally, physically, he's balanced, this person. He's ready now to have you. So come empilweni yakhe, so that you can actually build now together with him, And that's when Eve was actually introduced into Adam's life. So I say to young men, because musukhuluma nabantu abadala this language, Nkosi yami, umonakalo usowenzakele. You can just try nje ubhandishe nje fake amava ivaslap nama ice, you can do much, but it is possible. So you are just managing the situation, but with the young ones, we then need to teach them this, prepare them for this, so that when it happens, exactly the readiness that you are talking about, it's there. They want to find them ready. Yes, it's biblical. There's no problem. I mean, I've got a problem with men that advocate for my 55th. And this young generation, you'll hear them saying, I am Shana, ay, mengasebenzi ungamthathi. Nkosi yami, what is that? So we have actually turned away from God's original blueprint for men. So that's why I'm taking men through that journey and say, let's trace God's original blueprint for men, for us to understand our responsibility as men, so that when we understand it, then we can actually lead with what I said, the intentionality, because we know exactly that, Tina, we were designed for this provision. You need to provide as a man. And because once I start talking about provision, but this is what I say when, sister, in a family setup, it is expected of a man to provide.
Okay.
Angingen. I'm not an advocate, but I'm saying this instruction was given. So this instruction was given to Adam, preparing him for family setup. You understand? So that we can advocate for. And we need to get our young boys and to understand this concept and trace it back and say, this is our position as men. And that on its own is a sense of gubelula to have men that are healed in a process, and because when I said the boy in a man, and I call it a man-child. Kunabantu abadala Jabu ozothola ukuthi but why lo baba engaka ekutha njengomntana yabo. It's because of there's still that child in that man crying for help, who has not been given attention, and he's neglected. He's crying out loud. And that's why uzothola ukuthi amadoda amaningi bethanda show off. Mengaqala phathi 2 cent nyana, 2 bob nyana.
Sekunama ice boy.
Uyangunderstand sekunama ice boy and what because ufuna ukuprove
kodwa le ama ice boy ukwenza amanye amadoda ice boy.
No, yiyo leyo nto, because what we need to discuss.
Ice boy, I guess.
Just imagine what we need to discuss and understand as a society is that men have not actually dealt, a lot of men have not dealt with this child in them. That's why betandi validation. Some men actually go into a club and just start buying alcohol for everyone. For what purpose? For what reason? You go and clean connects abantwana bayalamba, uthengele wonke umuntu eklabhini wapopha ama champagne. The next thing Monday uboleka imali yokugibela. So this boy child, if he is not given enough attention, we have not actually fully restored this boy in us, it will be difficult for anyone to enjoy this man on the outside.
Sure. Yeah, no, the boy child is I like it when you say man child. It's another challenge that we have. But I have hope. I have hope. I have hope for the next generation. I have hope that men are trying. There's a podcast that I love. Shout out to Black, that husband podcast.
Sure.
Black, there's something that he says. He says, we are trying forward. We are not perfect.
Yeah, sure.
But we are just those men. We are just those husbands who are just trying to do the right thing. Some of us don't have the blueprint. Some of us have never had.
Sure.
There's a man who's going to be hearing about the blueprint for the first time.
Sure.
Who's never had that. I mean, I have hope. I do not know about you.
No, definitely.
I have hope.
Definitely. We spoke about this in the past in some platform that, as much as abantu bangathi amadoda are not doing what they're supposed to do to some extent, but I think we've got a cohort of men that are involved of late.
That are trying.
That are really trying
their
best,
Their organizations.
There are different platforms for men to engage. It's really getting better. Like we are also doing in assisting the boy child, so that we actually groom them into men that are full of purpose, men that are driven, men that are intentional in terms of leadership, but moreover, create a cohort of men that's Christ-centered, Christ-like, men after God's heart, that's what we want to actually create. Hence, we are launching all summer platforms like the Men I Wanna Be movement. That's the whole purpose, and to say, let's groom young men, let's groom men that are full of purpose, but it just can't happen. Dingakala bantu to come forward and say, I understand, I was once there. Because we can't continue to say, but how do I lead without me having seen Gucci gahle gahle. So as men, I'm saying, as men, madod, we can say which is moshagele. So we can do our bit. Of course, we can actually help everyone, but the bit that we are doing, it will actually have a greater effect out there.
So in closing, because it's cut to says Pelile Baba, but I would like to phrase this way. I know there's community work that you do. I know there's a movement of worship, I would like you maybe to just tell us about that as we're about to close. And also, I want you to just a little bit tell us the heart of a man today and what can you say to women out there?
Look, in the community work, I think for me, it's not just community work, it's service, like I said.
I love that.
It's not just community work. We're not just doing it for a show. It's something that one cannot live without. That, yes, I have a foundation called Usindiso, which is why I do most of this work. It's something that from a very young age, and I feel one cannot live without this. So you just need to go out there, see where you can help, how you can help, whether it's through feeding the needy, through upanange impahla, through some education, free education interventions that are there. But let's just do something to actually help somebody that needs help out there. We ministry, sure. Ministry was actually born out of what I call my season of preparation. So I had to go through some hardships. You know, I talk about it, Lapia, when Jacob was actually wrestling, but the angel of light. I found myself in that place.
I get you.
When all was said and done, I had to look back and call that place Peniel, because I'm saying this is where I saw God face to face. You know, he had to really deal with me for me to say, okay, Nkosi, ngiyavuma baba. And the instruction was very clear for me just to actually go out there and build the kingdom. And that's what we are doing through the ministry, Come As You Are. We are just actually contributing. We are building the kingdom by just preaching the gospel of salvation everywhere where we find ourselves. And
sorry to disturb you, Gangan, and you also have a company.
Yes. Yeah, one is doing a lot. In actual fact, we company, it's Brightstone Group. So there are a number of subsidiaries. There's one that actually looks at training and education. We have your IT company called Brightstone Tech Innovations. There's also a consulting company into investment, residence investment, abundant supplies. There's a couple. There's a security one in there. There's a few of those. So that's my entrepreneurial life. That's what I do. But also there's a foundation through Cindy. So so that's how we've actually coupled the group.
Together,
and there's also the ministry. And I know I always get asked, how do you manage to do all these things? I think leadership is actually key. One must actually understand that you can't do everything by yourself. So the key is finding the right people and to learn to delegate.
Important.
Yeah, because you can't be everywhere. At the same time, you are not the Holy Spirit. So, but you said I must actually just say in closing, speak the heart of a man
and encourage that woman.
You know, I'll be very honest, and I'm saying this to women. Men are going through a lot. Amadoda plainly athwele kanzima. And ekuthwaleni kanzima, it's because of what I spoke about, the child in us. And this child in us is born out of a past pain based on our childhood experiences. It could be a rejection, it could be abuse, and a number of other things that we have not dealt with. And I say to us as men, I know there's a lot that the world is expecting out of us. We are told to man up and not cry. It's difficult for us to be in touch with how we feel. We don't even cry because we just work through things because the world is expecting us to do that. But I want to say to men, please, just pause somewhere. Get yourself help. Admit that you are in pain. Admit that you are broken. Find help. Book yourself for therapy. If there's a pastor that you can talk to, please do that. If there's a brother, because brotherhood is also another important element. If there's a brother that you have around you that can actually pray with you, that can encourage you, that can stand with you in difficult moments, find yourself that brother. And with women, please, start understanding the child in that man if you actually want to wholly and fully start enjoying him. Don't just judge him ngezinto azenzayo. Understand that sometimes ukuthi hey lo othanda ukubheka amantombazana kangaka lalela because ukuthi how uhamba nami ubheka amantombazana. It does happen because of if that child was never given attention fully. It's something mhlambe kudala nje yafuna ukuyenza ekhula ethi mengiba nemali la yes ngizocala ngibe creative. So let's start dealing with those issues.
Sure.
Let's not take them to the grave with us.
Siyacela. but mina mangithi ngiyakhuluma bathi wena konje bangibizani pick me. Hey, siyakuwisha. But ke baba siyabonga. Thank you so much. Thank you for the great work that you do. Thank you for keeping this humble spirit. I have never had any other voice than the one that I have from you. The tone, the voice is always calm. Not that you're always calm and not, I know, but thank you so much for loving the Val. Thank you for loving all these other areas that you go to. And thank you for loving South Africa. Because I want to believe a man of your caliber, when a man like you starts to move the way that you do, or rather when a man moves the way that you move, is because the bigger picture is the country. Amen. The bigger picture is to see this country becoming something great. Amen. And we will get there. We may not, it may look like we're not, but we are getting there. Yeah. We are just going to be patriots. Babu Mtabela said that we need to keep that spirit of fighting, regardless how angry people are, how much they are bashing us, how much they are saying. But we need to stand firm and just knowing that building is what we are here for and is what we're going to continue to do. And then Thank you for introducing me to this place. I'll say it again.
We thank God because we understand everything is orchestrated by Him for a greater purpose, of course.
Thank you so much. And guys, thank you so much. Till we meet again on the next episode. Love you.